Every year, certain dates quietly take on a life of their own. They are not official holidays, they are not marked by government calendars, they do not come with formal announcements or ceremonies. Yet for millions of people around the world, January 9th holds a special meaning. Known among fans as Jungkook Day, the date has been commemorated annually since 2018, evolving from a simple handwritten message into a global moment of connection between Jungkook and ARMY. In 2026, once again, social media platforms are filled with messages of celebration, gratitude, and solidarity, demonstrating how a personal gesture from years ago continues to resonate across borders and generations. The story of Jungkook Day begins quietly in 2018. In BTS's Season's Greetings 2018 calendar, Jungkook marked January 9th as a special date. Alongside it, he left a message for fans, simple, personal, and sincere. There was no declaration of a holiday, no suggestion of future celebration. Yet for ARMY, the gesture mattered. In fan culture, meaning often forms not through official statements, but through emotional resonance. Jungkook's decision to highlight January 9th planted a seed, one that fans would nurture year after year. By the end of 2018, fans had already begun referring to the date as Jungkook Day. What makes Jungkook Day unique is that it was never institutionalized. No agency campaigns, no merchandise launches, no formal schedules. Instead, its growth was entirely organic. Fans across different countries independently began posting messages every January 9th. Over time, shared hashtags emerged, allowing ARMY to connect across platforms and time zones. By the early 2020s, Jungkook Day had become an annual fan-driven tradition, recognized within the community without needing validation from official channels. This kind of grassroots continuity is rare, even within fandom culture. In 2026, Jungkook Day is most visible online. On platforms such as X, formerly Twitter, fans post messages, edits, fan art, and reflections dedicated to Jungkook. Hashtags like Happy JK Day, Never Let Jungkook Go, and Standing with Jungkook appear repeatedly throughout the day, signaling global participation. What stands out is not just the volume of posts, but their tone. Rather than focusing on achievements or promotions, many messages emphasize encouragement, appreciation, and emotional connection. Jungkook Day has become less about celebration and more about presence. In fast-moving digital culture, trends often disappear as quickly as they emerge. Jungkook Day's longevity raises an important question. Why has this date endured? The answer lies in timing and sincerity. Jungkook marked January 9th at a moment when BTS was still in a period of growth. The message felt personal, not strategic. Fans remember it as a genuine gesture rather than a promotional act. Over time, that authenticity became the foundation of Jungkook Day. It is remembered not because it was announced, but because it was felt. Jungkook Day also reflects how fans perceive Jungkook as an artist and individual. Many ARMY describe him as someone whose actions often speak louder than formal statements. His communication style, quiet, thoughtful, and understated, has shaped how fans respond to him. January 9th mirrors that dynamic. There are no official events, no demands for attention, just a shared understanding that the day exists. In that sense, Jungkook Day is less about Jungkook himself and more about the relationship fans have built around him. In the digital age, rituals are no longer confined to physical spaces. For Jungkook Day, hashtags have become the primary medium through which fans participate. Each year, familiar phrases resurface. Hashtag Happy JK Day, Never Let Jungkook Go, and Standing with Jungkook appear repeatedly, not as marketing slogans, but as shared emotional signals. These hashtags function as gathering points. They allow fans from different countries, languages, and time zones to converge around a single idea. Clicking a hashtag on January 9th reveals thousands of voices speaking in different languages, yet expressing the same sentiment. In this way, Jungkook Day has evolved into a modern ritual, one performed collectively through digital space. One of the most remarkable aspects of Jungkook Day is the absence of central organization. There's no official committee planning events, no schedule dictating what fans should post, no requirement to participate in a specific way. And yet, every year, the celebration unfolds almost seamlessly. Fans in Asia begin posting as the day starts in their time zone, Europe follows, then the Americas. By the end of January 9th, Jungkook Day has traveled around the globe without interruption. This self-sustaining nature highlights the strength of fan-driven culture and the shared understanding that binds the community together. Jungkook Day has taken on particular significance during times when Jungkook himself is less publicly visible. In years marked by limited updates or quiet periods, January 9th becomes a moment of reassurance, both for fans and within the fan community. It serves as a reminder that support does not depend on constant interaction. Fans often describe Jungkook Day as a day to be there, rather than to demand presence. This dynamic reinforces the idea that the relationship between Jungkook and ARMY is built on patience, trust, and long-term commitment. Beyond celebration, Jungkook Day often carries an undercurrent of emotional support. Many posts shared on January 9th emphasize encouragement, resilience, and understanding. Fans express hope for Jungkook's well-being and happiness, regardless of professional timelines or public appearances. This collective tone contributes to a sense of shared identity. Jungkook Day becomes a mirror reflecting not only admiration for an artist, but the values of the community itself: empathy, loyalty, and solidarity. Unlike birthdays or debut anniversaries, Jungkook Day does not mark a milestone tied to age or career chronology. It exists outside traditional fan calendars. That difference gives it a unique emotional texture. There is no expectation of celebration content or acknowledgement. The day belongs entirely to the fans, shaped by their interpretation rather than external cues. For many, this quietness is precisely what makes Jungkook Day meaningful. Memory plays a central role in sustaining Jungkook Day. Fans who remember the original Season's Greetings 2018 calendar often share screenshots or recollections, passing the story on to newer fans. Through repetition, the meaning of January 9th is preserved and renewed each year. In this way, Jungkook Day becomes intergenerational within the fandom, a tradition inherited rather than announced. Jungkook Day aligns closely with how fans perceive Jungkook's personality. He's often described as sincere, thoughtful, and understated. The nature of the day, unofficial, quiet, emotionally driven, mirrors those qualities. Rather than celebrating spectacle, Jungkook Day celebrates presence. It reinforces the image of Jungkook as someone whose impact is felt deeply, rather than loudly. Over time, Jungkook Day has drawn attention beyond fan circles. Media outlets increasingly note the recurring trend of January 9 activity, particularly when related hashtags trend globally. While coverage remains observational rather than promotional, it acknowledges the scale and consistency of the phenomenon. This visibility further solidifies Jungkook Day as a recognizable moment within global fan culture. Within the broader BTS narrative, Jungkook Day occupies a subtle but meaningful place. It highlights the individuality of each member while reinforcing the collective strength of the group's fandom. Jungkook Day does not compete with group milestones. Instead, it complements them. It serves as a reminder that BTS's global impact is built not only on music, but on personal connections between artists and fans. As years pass, the tone of Jungkook Day continues to evolve. Early celebrations focused on recognition and excitement. More recent ones emphasize stability, gratitude, and long-term support. This evolution reflects the changing relationship between Jungkook and his audience as both mature. Jungkook Day adapts without losing its core meaning, a rare balance in digital culture. While X, Twitter, remains the central hub for Jungkook Day discussions, participation now spans multiple platforms. Fans share long-form reflections on forums, visual tributes on image-based platforms, and videos commemorating the day. This cross-platform presence extends the lifespan of the celebration beyond January 9th itself. The message remains consistent, even as formats change. In an industry defined by constant change, Jungkook Day represents continuity. No matter how much the music landscape shifts, January 9th returns each year with familiar messages and shared understanding. For fans, this reliability offers comfort. It is a reminder that some connections endure regardless of external circumstances. Jungkook Day offers insight into how modern fandom operates. It demonstrates that meaningful engagement does not require constant content or official endorsement. Instead, it thrives on shared memory, mutual respect, and emotional investment. This model challenges traditional assumptions about fan behavior, highlighting a more reflective and sustainable form of support. Despite its understated nature, Jungkook Day reaches millions. It trends, it circulates, it is noticed, yet it never loses its quiet tone. That contrast between global scale and emotional intimacy is what defines the day. Jungkook Day proves that influence does not always need a volume. As January 9th comes to an end each year, Jungkook Day leaves behind no official announcements, no statistics, and no press releases. What it leaves instead is something less measurable but equally powerful: connection. Born from a simple note in a calendar, Jungkook Day has grown into a global tradition sustained entirely by memory and meaning. It endures not because it was designed to, but because it was felt. And as long as that feeling remains, January 9th will continue to matter.